Thank you very much for considering the University of Alabama in Birmingham as you look for the next step in your career in choosing a residency. Choosing a residency is certainly one of the most important decisions that you're going to make, and it's always a very challenging task. We're in a different environment this year, and so we're all going to have to use some new tools to begin to help you learn about our program and help us learn about you. To that end, I'd like to give a little bit of an overview about our program here at the University of Alabama in Birmingham and talk about some of the things that I think are important to consider as you're looking at residency programs. Probably the first thing everybody looks at are those objective measures of the program, and we'll talk about those briefly. Also, it's really important, I think, to understand the culture of a program and then to know a little bit about the city and the community that you're going to be living in for the next 4 years. When you look at UAB as an overview, our residency program really benefits from the fact that our department and our institution highly value resident education and are very supportive of resident education. This allows us to have a lot of resources available to us and to our trainees to ensure that the best training is available to you. Talking about those objective measures, one of the things that really stands out about our program, probably like many other big tertiary care medical centers, is that we have a very high volume, high acuity practice here at UAB. There are very broad representation across all the surgical disciplines. There's not a patient population or a surgical procedure that we have limited access to. We're also a program that truly believes in progressive autonomy. You'll have a great deal of support and mentoring as you begin your residency program, but as you progress through your training and gain more skills and knowledge and experience, we're going to give you the opportunity to make decisions independently, to carry out those decisions, always with the faculty member there to support and guide and mentor you, both to enhance your learning and to ensure patient safety. But that high volume, high acuity case mix with the true belief in progressive autonomy that allows you to begin to develop not just your clinical skills and knowledge, but your clinical reasoning and communication as well, along with very strong faculty support for resident education, allows our residents to all be very competent physicians at the end of their training, but very confident in those clinical skills as well. They're more than ready for the task, whatever they choose to do next, whether it going into academics or private practice or pursue a fellowship at the end of the residency program. Our residents do better than average in all the standardized testing, better than national average on all the standardized testing. About 2/3 or so of our residents choose to do fellowships every year, and we have a very high success rate with our residents matching into the fellowship of their choice as they plan for their career going forward. It is also a program that is continuously evolving. One of the things that I really value about our program is the degree to which our residents and our faculty as well engage in program improvement, give us good feedback, participate in the task force and committees that evaluate our program and make changes going forward. That engagement of our residents allows us to evolve the program on a regular basis so that each year we make small changes. And this helps our program remain a vital program and not become stagnant, and allows us to respond to the changing needs of our residents as we go forward. When you talk about the community of our program or the culture of our program, I think two things really stand out. One is how valued education is. Faculty love to work with residents, and in fact, they complain to me when they don't have the opportunity to work with residents. They're very engaged and value that experience. And that creates a very collegial environment between the residents and faculty. We view our residents as our peers, not as people here to help us get the work done. And so I think that that culture is extremely important. Also very important is the culture among the residents. It is an extremely collegial group. We're a relatively large anesthesiology residency program, but nonetheless we maintain a very much of a feel of a small program. All the residents know each other, they know each other well. They enjoy spending time with each other inside and outside the hospital. Probably most importantly, while each of them pay attention to their own progress and work hard to be successful as an individual, they very much value the success of the group as a whole. It's a group of residents that work hard together, that enjoy being with each other outside of the hospital, whose families and significant others know each other. And so it's a very strong sense of community here within our residency program. when I ask people why they chose UAB, that community and the people that they met here are their number one reasons for choosing the program. And finally, what about the community? There are a number of resources on our website that will help you get to know Birmingham, but it is a very vibrant and growing small city. I've lived here for 20 years and have really enjoyed my time here. And I think the thing that I really notice when we recruit residents from all over the United States, they sometimes have a little trepidation about coming to Birmingham, but they all are sorry to leave when the time comes to finish their residency program. So it is a city that people enjoy living in. Finally, I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to talk about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on our residents and our residency training program. First, what did we do and what have we done during this very challenging time? The first thing that we did prior to having any patients in the state of Alabama was to begin to educate all of our residents on how to safely take care of patients with COVID-19 and work to make sure that all of our residents had proper fit testing and availability of the correct N95 masks. We adapted our clinical schedules to ensure that residents had adequate rest periods between taking care of patients. And as we altered that schedule, we paid very close attention to what our residents' educational assignments had been prior to the pandemic, and as much as possible, allowed residents to continue acquiring that necessary clinical experience moving towards graduation. When we came out of the limited business model and returned to full elective schedules, we recreated the remainder of the academic year schedules to ensure that all of our graduates met or exceeded the required clinical experience in time for graduation. We also paid close attention to wellness for the residents as well as all of us who work here at UAB. And we were in regular communication, daily emails from me as program director to the residents, weekly meetings with the residents. We had psychologists in our department that provided drop-in chat sessions and mindfulness training, all to try to ensure that people remained well and resilient during this time. From the educational schedule standpoint, the didactic schedule, within a week of going to the altered business model, we had developed daily Zoom didactics for our residents, and so we were able to continue those throughout the pandemic. As we move now into a full elective schedule, and in the ability to have some small group live sessions, we have taken the best of what we learned from digital curriculum and Zoom lectures that were the only thing available to us during the pandemic to create a new educational model that combines some live small group sessions with proper social distancing with, again, the best of the digital curriculum that we created during the pandemic. How did we do? I'm happy to say that all of our graduates exceeded their required case numbers, and our current senior residents are absolutely on track to meet all those requirements prior to their graduation. And to date, we've not had a single resident who contracted COVID-19 from work-related exposure. And so I think that we came through the pandemic, learned some things, and came through as a healthy and resilient group. I think probably the most important thing as everybody faces the huge changes and challenges that have come about because of COVID-19 is to recognize that the UAB Anesthesiology Residency Program is the same program we've always been. We're a resident-focused program. Our residents receive excellent training. They enjoy their time here, and they're well prepared for the next step in their career. And while the logistics of how we provide that have changed, the mission and the culture and the climate of the department have not. And I invite you to explore our program, and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions I can answer.